luckily or unluckily, my mom was here when this all started. So in the beginning, she was very worried, and she told me that I should not go to Gezi Park, and you never know when the police are gonna show up, etc. She would call me every half an hour or every. I mean, it was actually every 5 minutes. Actually, very proud that the Turkish population started asking for their rights, because the same thing happened for Egypt, and it changed history, and we are expecting the same for Turkey. And when we saw the same thing happening here, we were actually very excited.
No, at the beginning they didn't know, and I didn't want to tell them anything, so just not to make them worried. But at the point where they said that the Facebook and Twitter was going to be blocked, it's when I called my parents and I said, like, okay, this is all going on here in Istanbul. I don't live that close to that area, so I think I'm safe.
I didn't tell them actually. They knew that something's going on in Turkey when there was Ghazi event, something was happening. But I was in Baku, so they were worrying about my friends also. But I didn't tell them when I was suffering from gas.
Well, they thought that maybe they said that since that those things started, if of course they was very scared, and they said you should come home, you should just take off this semester. So I said, no, it's not that bad at all. I'm explaining for them. But of course, they was very worried. So they were trying now. They ask me all the time to live in Turkey.
I mean, of course, they were not happy about it, but they were more protective of me that I had more rules during that time. I even didn't go to school during that time because I would have to pass Kabatash, and they were protesting Kabatash as well. So
yes, my parents got much more frequently concerned about me and telling me to stay at home.
And did they hear something that you guys haven't heard, or have you guys corrected them once they heard the news?
yeah, actually, my mother she was just thinking that the whole thing came out only because they don't want the shopping mall there, and then I explained that that is not the whole purpose of the protest. That the people had been just waiting for a while to just burst out their anger towards the government.
Did you feel safe or unsafe?
I felt safe when I was with my friends, but at some point I was alone, and felt very unsafe, and it was scary. And I was worried because when you see a lot of people attacking each other, you don't know if you're gonna be one of them. You don't know if you're gonna be a victim of any physical violence, and you start thinking about all the horrible things that can happen to you. Even if you have a friend, I mean, they cannot protect you that much, even if it's a man. Or so even though you have someone, you still are scared that you might not get out of this safely.
Those days we were like prisoners at the yurt, like in the dormitory. We couldn't even go out because like the gas and people screaming, and even like as I saw in Facebook and things, those pictures of people, I don't know, hit by police or I don't know what. So, and especially that they have this thing. If any international person gonna be in this manifestation, they're gonna bring him back to his country.
During all these events, did you want to go back?
No, really, but I was already going back to Mexico to work for a festival, so I knew I was going to leave the country soon.
I actually had to go back because I had already booked my flight, but I was willing to stay, and I would have loved to participate. And even though after I came back from Egypt and every other protest, I would participate in everyone.
After this incident, did you have any psychological traumas?
It feels like, because I feel like there's still how do you say, like the aftershocks?
You can use aftershocks.
Yeah, because sometimes random stuff happens in Istanbul, and you can sort of say that it's related to the anger that people have against the government.
It was really bad. I mean, they were hitting people. They were hitting people. I mean, you wouldn't even if I explained to you, you wouldn't even know how to imagine that. They were hitting people with everything you can find, throwing tear gas bombs, and they wouldn't care if it's a child, if it's a woman. They wouldn't care. They would just throw, and everyone was running, and everyone was crying, and they didn't care about anything, and it was really bad. I've seen someone who was on the floor. He was on the floor, and he couldn't stand up anymore, and police kept hitting him, even though he was probably not gonna move anymore. I mean, he's not he's not a threat anymore. And they kept hitting him in the stomach, and you would see not just only one policeman hitting one person. No, you would see a bunch of policemen hitting one person. You would see 5, 6, 7 people around only one protester, and they would keep hitting him with their bats, their police sticks, and they would keep kicking them with their legs, and it was really horrible. As I said, everyone was trying to help out, and you would see very courageous people going in between these 7 policemen, hitting that person and trying to pull him away, and everyone was trying to do their best and make everyone stay away from the violence. I have a lot of friends who went there, who were even in Beşiktaş, and Beşiktaş at some points was much scarier. And everything was burning up, and a lot of people were there, and a lot of people saw people bleeding and screaming, and saw children in very bad mental state. Seen the police cars hitting people. They've seen the orange toxic water being thrown. I mean, some of them actually were victims of that. I mean, they haven't just witnessed it. Some of them have been victims of that.
Hiçbir şey yapamadık değil mi? Çok ilginç bir şey bu, sana tek bir şey diyeceğim aramızda, bu gerçek bir şey. Yine hiçbir şey yapamadık değil mi? Çok ilginç bir şey bu, sana tek bir şey diyeceğim aramızda kalsın. Harbiden ben çapulcunun biriyim, bilirim tabi kendimi bilirim, desem de çapulcunun biriyim, delirdim kendime geleyim. Çapulcunun biriyim, bilirim tabi kendimi bilirim, desem çapulcunun biriyim, delirdim vur Galatasaray.
Fenerbahçe, Beşiktaş her yerde, bu düzene karşı ayakta kal çarşı. Galatasaray, Fenerbahçe, Beşiktaş her yerde, bu düzene karşı. Hadi Gezi Parkı, hadi Gezi Parkı, diren Gezi Parkı. Oh, tek yürek oh, tek yürek oh. Hadi Gezi Parkı, hadi Gezi Parkı, diren Gezi Parkı. Oh, tek yürek oh, tek yürek oh. Hadi Gezi Parkı, hadi Gezi Parkı, diren Gezi Parkı.
Gezi Park March Ayakta Kal by Rad, one of the most influential songs that gave courage and later turned on to be the anthem of the march. People, protesters, were encouraged by the music and the enthusiasm that the people had. We talked with several international students who during this event were forgotten. Some students preferred to be anonymous, while others refused to speak and share their feelings due to fear or to what they have seen. Others, who had the opportunity to leave, emailed us by saying, quote, "I left because I couldn't handle such violence. I wanted to live in peace, not in war." We, Leila from Azerbaijan, and I, Reem from Egypt, felt that this is our duty to help those who were ignored. We all have a voice. We all need to be heard. During those events, some embassies contacted their people to check on them. Others advised them to not protest in order to not be detained, and others did nothing.
During all this year, during these events happened, did your embassy or any other organization reach you for your safety or not?
No, not at all.
No.
No, actually, I had also another international friends, and the ones living in Germany and the ones from Germany and from United States told me like, yeah, really you didn't receive anything from your embassy? And I said like, no, I didn't receive anything. So I decided to call to the embassy by myself. So I called them and I said like, do you have a plan or something? What it's going to, if something like more dangerous happen, do you have a plan for all Mexicans living here? And they said like, no, we don't have any plan, but if you feel unsafety, like, just don't go to Gezi Park. And I was like, really? Of course, that's not.
The Moroccan embassy, they called every one of us, like a great number of Moroccans. Then they told us you can come even to the embassy to stay there. And after like every single manifestation, they used to send us messages. And I have even the number of the head of the embassy, and he's on my WhatsApp. He keeps telling me like, you're fine, you're good. How's things going with you guys? So, yeah.
Did your opinion change about Istanbul?
It's okay. I'm thankful. Sometimes I think to leave, but
Yes, I feel very proud. They stood up for their rights. All the people are more patriotic than they've ever been. People change, and people now you feel that they're more aware, even the youth, especially the youth. they are aware of everything, of the political situation, of all the social problems. They are aware of everything. So it makes you feel that you're actually dealing with very smart people and everyone cares about everything. So it's a good thing.
It's a political thing and it's a personal thing for the Turkish people. So why would we get into it? It's something worldwide happening in the whole world, something that happened in every single country before. So why not Turkey too?
I know it's hard to believe, and it's sad all the things that are happening. But for me, Turkey it has something special in my heart. That's one thing.
If you had another alternative, would you leave?
Probably not. No.
I want to stay here.
I would stay here. I can stay here for the rest of my life. I really like this
Oh,
town.
that's so nice.